Tragedy at SeaWorld. It happened without warning. A killer whale grabbed a trainer who'd always dreamed of working with orcas and pulled her underwater.
On February 24, 2010, 40-year-old orca trainer Dawn Brancheau was killed when a 22 feet long and 12,000-pound whale named Tilikum pulled her into the water. This tragic event shocked the world and raised important questions about the relationship between humans and these majestic creatures. Join us as we uncover the harrowing details and seek to understand what happened. It all started when a young Dawn Brancheau visited SeaWorld with her mother. At only 10 years old, Dawn witnessed her first Shamu show at SeaWorld in Orlando, and when she saw the giant killer whale jumping outside the water, she knew from that moment that working with these majestic creatures was her calling. Little did she know the incredible journey and the dangers that awaited her in the future. With her mission to work as an animal trainer, Dawn became a student at the University of South Carolina, where she studied psychology and animal behavior. After getting her degree, she spent 2 years working with dolphins at a New Jersey attraction before securing a position at SeaWorld. This experience allowed her to develop a strong foundation in animal training and deepen her understanding of marine mammals. Dawn's love for animals extended far beyond the great killer whales. Outside of her work as an animal trainer, Dawn Brancheau had a special place in her heart for dogs, particularly her beloved Labrador retrievers. These loyal and playful companions were a fundamental part of her life. Dawn adored them, and they brought her immense joy and companionship. In her spare time, Dawn selflessly volunteered at an animal shelter. She actively contributed to the welfare of stray dogs, providing them with care, love, and a chance at finding forever homes. Dawn's commitment to animal rescue and shelter work showcased her immense compassion and genuine love for all creatures. Early in her career, Dawn worked with otters and sea lions at Six Flags amusement parks, further developing her skills in handling and training these creatures. In 1994, Dawn Brancheau's passion for working with marine animals led her to SeaWorld. Initially, she began working with otters and sea lions. However, in 1996, she had the opportunity to transition to working with orcas, the majestic and awe-inspiring creatures she had admired since her first visit to SeaWorld as a 10-year-old child. Working with the incredible underwater giants required a high level of strength, endurance, and agility. Dawn recognized that fact. However, fitness was not just a job requirement for Dawn, it was a lifestyle. She dedicated herself to maintaining peak physical fitness to effectively interact with the orcas and perform her duties with confidence and precision. Dawn incorporated various fitness activities into her routine to maintain her physical condition. She engaged in weightlifting, running, and cycling, which helped her build strength, cardiovascular endurance, and overall stamina. These activities not only enhanced her physical capabilities, but also contributed to her mental focus and discipline. By prioritizing her own fitness, Dawn aimed to set an example for others and inspire them to embrace a healthy and active lifestyle. She was always striving to be at her best. Dawn's role as an orca trainer at SeaWorld allowed her to form deep bonds with these magnificent animals. She dedicated her time and expertise to their care, training, and enrichment, developing a unique connection built on trust and mutual understanding. But behind the scenes, a troubled and misunderstood orca named Tilikum, which is intriguingly paradoxical since Tilikum is the Chinook word for friend, would become a central figure in Dawn's tragic story. Tilikum, also known as Blackfish, was a male orca with a troubled history. He was captured in Iceland in 1983 when he was just 2 years old. Separated from his family, Tilikum was taken to a concrete tank at the Hafnarfjordur Marine Zoo near Reykjavik. For almost a year, he could only swim in circles or remain motionless on the surface of the water while awaiting transport. In 1984, Tilikum was transferred to his new home, Sealand of the Pacific, located on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. There, he was placed with 2 older female orcas named Haida II and Nootka IV. In the wild, female orcas hold the highest rank in the social hierarchy, and these 2 females competed for dominance, which led to Tilikum becoming the target of their attacks. The extreme stress caused Tilikum to develop stomach ulcers, and he was often isolated in a medical pool to protect him from the violent attacks. Sealand sought advice from Bruce Stevens, a former SeaWorld head trainer, who provided a handbook warning the trainers that failing to adequately stimulate the animals would lead to them creating their own excitement. However, little improvement was seen in the orca's intelligence and well-being. Tilikum's aggressive behavior continued, with the orcas refusing to relinquish objects and becoming increasingly aggressive. In May 1989, a trainer named Eric resigned from SeaWorld and reported the safety problems to the Canadian Federation of Humane Societies, expressing his belief that someone would be seriously injured. Tragically, Eric's prediction came true.
An employee is dead after an encounter
at a Canadian park called Sealand of the Pacific.
The victim, Kelty Byrne, was a championship swimmer and a part-time worker at Sealand.
On February 20th, 1991, a 20-year-old marine biology student and part-time trainer named Kelty Byrne accidentally fell into Tilikum's pool at Sealand. On that day, Kelty Byrne was working near the Orca pool when she accidentally slipped and fell into the water. Tilikum, along with the two female orcas, seized the opportunity and attacked her. The orcas acted aggressively towards Kelty, ultimately leading to her untimely death. The incident sent shockwaves through the marine park and the community. This event marked a significant turning point in the captive orca industry, shedding light on the potential dangers and ethical considerations surrounding the confinement of these intelligent and powerful creatures. This incident led to Sealand closing its doors, and the orcas, including Tilikum, were eventually sold to SeaWorld in 1992. Despite his aggressive reputation, Tilikum was put on display at SeaWorld once more and became a major attraction, generating a lot of money for the company. He was the largest orca held in captivity. In 1999, another fatal incident occurred at SeaWorld Orlando, involving a homeless person and Tilikum. The victim, who remains unidentified, was a man who had gained unauthorized access to the park after hours. It is believed that the man entered Tilikum's tank during the night and was subsequently found dead in the morning. The exact circumstances leading to his death are not entirely clear. However, it was determined that the man died as a result of drowning and other injuries sustained during the encounter with Tilikum. Despite the history of fatal incidents involving Tilikum, SeaWorld continued to display him as one of their main attractions, as he was a significant draw for visitors. As we've learned, Tilikum, a male orca weighing over 12,000 pounds, has been involved in 2 previous fatal incidents. However, the upcoming particular encounter would prove to be the most devastating. Dawn Brancheau and Tilikum shared a bond that was described as strong and based on love and trust. Dawn had spent countless hours working with Tilikum and had developed a deep connection with him. She was known for her passion and dedication to the animals she worked with, and Tilikum was no exception. Tilikum, despite his size and history of aggression, had shown a different side when interacting with Dawn. Witnesses and trainers noted that Tilikum treated Dawn as a trusted companion. He responded well to her commands and demonstrated a cooperative attitude during their training sessions and performances. Dawn's colleagues and fellow trainers spoke highly of the bond she had formed with Tilikum. They believed that she had established a special relationship with him through consistent training, positive reinforcement, and mutual understanding. It was evident that there was a level of trust and respect between them. The bond between Dawn and Tilikum was built over years of working together, understanding each other's cues, and developing a unique form of communication. They had established a level of familiarity and mutual respect that allowed them to perform intricate routines together. It's important to acknowledge that orcas, like Tilikum, are highly intelligent and social creatures. They are capable of forming connections with their trainers based on trust, positive reinforcement, and consistent interaction. Dawn's relationship with Tilikum was a testament to the potential for deep bonds between humans and these remarkable marine animals. Tragically, the incident that occurred on February 24, 2010, during the Shamu presentation at SeaWorld shattered this bond. Dawn and Tilikum were performing in the Dining with Shamu show, where guests enjoyed an outdoor dinner while watching an orca show, when Tilikum's behavior suddenly took a violent turn. Witnesses reported that Dawn had just finished stroking Tilikum's nose and was lying with her face next to him. But then, within a split second, everything changed. Tilikum suddenly grabbed hold of Dawn, either by her ponytail or arm, and pulled her into the water. Once in the water, the attack continued. Witnesses described seeing Tilikum swinging Dawn around underwater, dragging her by her arm. The attack was prolonged and incredibly violent. Despite the efforts of other trainers who tried to divert Tilikum with nets and food, they were unable to rescue Dawn in time. Eventually, Dawn drowned as a result of the attack. The autopsy revealed the extent of the injuries Dawn suffered. Tilikum's violent movements broke her jaw, shattered a portion of her spine, dislocated one of her elbows, and even dislocated a knee. The force of the attack was so intense that a portion of her scalp was forcibly pulled from her skull. Her left arm was torn from its socket, and her hair and skin were found at the bottom of the pool. The details of the incident were widely reported, and the incident became the subject of scrutiny and debate about the ethical implications of keeping orcas in captivity for entertainment purposes. If you want to know what happened to Tilikum, make sure to keep watching till the end of the video. Following the incident, SeaWorld immediately suspended all orca shows and closed the park temporarily, while an investigation by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration took place. The investigation resulted in 3 safety violations, and the park was fined only $75,000 for failing to provide a safe working environment for its trainers. After the incident, SeaWorld made substantial changes to its procedures and facilities to enhance the safety of its trainers. One notable change was the implementation of a new water work policy. Trainers were no longer allowed to enter the water with the orcas during shows and performances. Instead, they would conduct training and interactions from the safety of elevated platforms. SeaWorld faced immense public backlash, leading to a decline in attendance, a wave of negative publicity, and financial challenges for the company. The incident and subsequent investigations received widespread media coverage and sparked public outrage and debate about the ethics of keeping orcas in captivity. In 2013, the documentary Blackfish was released, which focused on the incident involving Dawn Brancheau and Tilikum, as well as the broader issues surrounding orca captivity. The documentary had a significant impact on public opinion, further fueling the controversy and raising awareness about the welfare of orcas in captivity. The tragic loss of Dawn Brancheau's life sparked a global movement advocating for the protection and freedom of orcas. Many organizations, researchers, and activists are now working tirelessly to rehabilitate and release captive orcas back into their natural habitats. These efforts aim to create a world where orcas and other marine creatures can thrive in their natural environments, free from the constraints of captivity. The family of Dawn Brancheau remembers her as a loving and passionate individual who had a deep connection with animals. They have spoken fondly of her dedication to her work as a trainer and her genuine love for orcas, particularly Tilikum. In the aftermath of her passing in 2016, Dawn's family established the Dawn Brancheau Foundation to honor her memory and continue her legacy. The foundation focuses on supporting causes that were important to Dawn, such as animal conservation, educational initiatives, and providing scholarships for students pursuing careers in animal-related fields. Tilikum remained at SeaWorld following the incident, spending a significant amount of time lying on the surface of the water in his pool. He was no longer used in performances or allowed to interact closely with trainers. Tilikum passed away on January 6, 2017 at age 36 due to bacterial pneumonia. Until today, no one knows why Tilikum made that choice to attack Dawn Brancheau. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the chilling last minutes of orca trainer Dawn Brancheau. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on more tragic stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on this story.